Here we go.
Hey, man. Welcome to the Big Bad Broadcast, dude.
Good evening and welcome to the Big Bad Broadcast. You can now listen to us on Podcast Playground.
Podcast Playground. Yes.
Every week.
Podcast Playground, wherever you listen to your favorite
You won't
podcast.
see
Yes.
this.
Or you can watch us on Strong Island TV, which we are on Roku. We are on Fire Stick. We are on everything you can watch.
Download.
We're on Tommy John CBD oil. Oh, hey. What else are we on, man? I'm on vitamins. I've been hanging and banging and saying my prayers. Let me tell you, keep my wife's fucking name out of your fucking mouth.
And let me introduce you to the crew. We have Mike Grieve, king of the Clown College. No longer dean. He is king.
King of the Clown College. That's right, baby.
No,
Yes.
don't do it, John. I know where you're going.
And the queen of the Clown College.
I wasn't. Do you want to know
Yes, you
something?
were.
No,
You
I
go.
swear to God, I didn't even think of that. I made
All
a
right, so
mistake.
I guess I have to
I
speak
made
like
a
this.
mistake. I made a mistake with Dean, so I just tried to cover it.
Hi,
And then,
everybody.
and I saw your face go, "Oh no, he's
Oh,
going to
no,
say
he's going
Queen."
with the queen.
No, he's a princess.
Just stop. Just stop. Just stop.
And of course, John Ferrantino, the man, the legend, the myth, the magical master of reality.
And I would book him anywhere.
That's
anytime.
right, man. If I had a convention for magic, John Ferrantino would be the first guy I would call. I would be
The
like,
first. The
you
first.
know what? I'd be
one.
like, yes, there's all these other legends and whatever, but let me call John Ferrantino because he is
Yes.
the man, the
Yes.
myth, the legend.
Yes.
Unfortunately, you guys don't book conventions.
I don't read books, so I don't know.
But I
Well,
go to
listen.
Star Trek conventions. So
Do you really?
Oh, you are a
I do.
nerd. You are
Really?
a nerd.
Do
yeah,
you
I can
wear-
make tribbles disappear.
Do
Come
they
on.
make those Star Trek uniforms that big?
Wow, mother.
Do you wear
no.
one of those?
What?
Would you just take like a tent and put it
What
on
the
and put a
fuck?
Star
What-
Trek emblem on?
what?
Did you ever see what's his name? Triumph the Insult Dog go to the
Yes.
Oh, the Star Wars.
go to the Star Wars convention.
When he-
Darth
when he
Vader
goes up-
walks up. The master Darth Vader walks up and goes, "This button I pushed, it gives me my oxygen." This is he goes, and what is the other one? You push that so your mother picks you up at the end of the convention?
Oh, when he goes up to the pregnant woman, he goes, "Is he going to be Star Wars fan too?" And she's like, "Yeah, yes, he will." Go, that'll be the last time he sees a vagina.
Oh my God! Do you really go to Star Trek
He
conventions?
says, "Wait, my other one." He says to the guy walks by and he goes, "Look at you. Have you ever talked to a woman without leaving your credit card number?"
Why you so? Yes, I've gone to Star Trek.
No, I mean, no, don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of Star Trek, but I mean, I don't think I could bring myself to go to a convention. It's like announcing, like, "Hey, I'm a nerd.
I am
you
a
know?
super nerd.
I'm a super duper nerd."
I am a super nerd that had the night off from BattleBots.
Yeah.
Well, you watch BattleBots.
I love BattleBots.
Yeah,
Do you-
BattleBots is fun.
Do you wear a uniform when you go? Do you wear like because people dress? It's like Comic Con.
I
People
wear
dress up for
I
it,
wear
right?
a 24th century muumuu.
I wear a
I
I
don't
wear
think
a
that fits.
I wear a uniform when I watch BattleBots on TV.
What? What? Really? Is he has
Yeah.
a little shirt that says "I do it for robots"? That's what he has on his
I
shirt.
said I have a T-shirt that says it's robot fighting time.
Yeah. I wear
Dude,
a
I
uniform
love
when I watch
the
Naked
robot
and
has,
Afraid.
has a big spinning like saw on the front of it, and they'll hit one and they'll go flying into the wall.
I saw a fight the other night on BattleBots, a 3-minute match, and one of the robots that weighed 95 pounds in 3 minutes spent 1 minute and 45 seconds in the air.
in the air.
In the
In
air.
the air.
What does it have? Helium in it?
It was knocking the robot was throwing this up in the air 15 feet.
Wow.
That's
Well,
pretty
let's,
crazy.
I just wanted to see though. It's like okay, so I mean, you're Star Trek, but are you also? So are you in that war of the Star Trek Star Wars war? Because I know there's this battle between the
There's no
Star
battle.
people.
There's no battle, Mike. There's no contest. Star Wars sucks.
Live. Oh, no, but
Yeah,
there's no
I-
battle. I
like
just
last
killed a
night.
guy the other day because he was what?
we taped this on Thursday. So last night at midnight, I watched The Mandalorian, Star Wars, and then I watched
Mhm.
Picard. It's like a feast. Yes, I was naked and I had some lubriderm, but it was
You were
fun.
naked and I was afraid, so we got naked and afraid.
You would be afraid if you were here. What's that
Oh.
sound? What? Oh,
Well,
what's
then-
that pushing
Then
sound?
you guys would be very excited on the Star Wars theme that today at 4:00, NASA is shooting off their first 3D printed rocket.
Wow.
3D printed.
Every
I-
part of the rocket is printed 3D.
I just want to know how many times did they run out of ink? Oh fuck, we're out of ink.
So wait,
again.
so that's NASA, and it's not one of the because you've got who else shoots off rockets down by you? Does one of those millionaire boys?
His Iranian neighbors.
Billionaire guys.
His Iranian neighbors.
Hold
did.
on, John's
think it
getting a
just went
message. Huh? They
What?
just. I
Where'd
think
he
the
go?
rocket just went
He
off.
just disappeared.
He
He
just
just
disappeared.
went off.
Did you see that?
The rocket just went off.
He doesn't look. He's gone. How does he do that?
Aliens took John, man. Wait a minute. Stepping out of the spaceship, it's Elvis. A little bit. That doesn't it look at his background. I mean, now anyone listening on the podcast playground cannot see, but John has disappeared into the
John has
background and
disappeared
he's
into
gone.
the ether. He's disappeared.
He's-
It's like that movie, the fog, not the fog,
Wait.
but the mist. Remember the mist?
The mist. But you know what?
That was
I'm
scary
getting
shit.
that Elvis feeling from his background, so I got to sing. Hold on.
Oh,
As the snow flies on a cold and gray Chicago morning, a little baby shower. You know, you're supposed to back me up and go in the ghetto.
I don't know how to back you. I don't know the song.
You don't know In the Ghetto?
No, I lived there, but I don't
That
know.
was
Wait,
Elvis-
he's
that was-
back.
Wait, oh my
Look at
God. They've dropped him off. They gave him the probe.
He's
and
gone
now
again.
He's back.
Back again.
How was the probe? Probe 7.
Yeah, he's
Sign
back
up now.
Not that you guys are not important, but that's like arrow history.
What?
I just want to check to see if that was really
Hold
There's
on.
a
I'm gonna walk off the live show we're doing because I've got a sandwich that's waiting
Yeah,
for me.
exactly.
no. This is important, man.
Sandwiches are always.
There's
good.
also a Falcon 9 that's going off today.
Yeah.
And
Well,
was that the Falcon 9 going off? or
That's
was
what I'm
this
trying to figure out.
One of your neighbors
Oh, you
with a
mean a
noisy
rocket?
Harley.
Is that where you went? A rocket just went off?
Yeah.
It was either that or the neighbor's Harley.
It's either that or the war has started.
I'll tell you what, when I start my bike, let me tell you, it could be a rocket ship going off. I've got these thunderheader pipes and it's loud. It is loud. My bike is loud.
Maybe DeSantis lobbed a nuke at Disney. Maybe that's what it was.
That could be, yeah. And right now,
Launch.
Goofy's
I got to look at this is really
We didn't hear
Very-
anything.
it's loud, man.
it's loud. What's loud there? But you know, we're in
We don't,
California.
we
we're
don't want
try-
to give away your location, but you're somewhere near Cape Kennedy or Cape Canaveral or whatever the Cape.
Yeah, he's somewhere that rhymes with Florida.
Yeah, Florida, right?
Florida.
Florida. Florida. That sounds like a disease you get. Well,
I
I'm
know,
sorry,
right?
but you have Florida.
Oh man, yeah, I know. I thought I felt itchy.
Yeah.
I think I got Florida.
I felt itchy. Well, no, I mean the space program is really interesting, especially now they have the NASA has the Artemis program. It's 3 stages doing Artemis, Artemis 2, and Artemis 3. Artemis 1 was unmanned. It went around the moon around Christmas time. Artemis 2, I think it's going to go off this year. It's going to be
Okay. So I'm sorry, not to interrupt.
Just interrupt what I was saying. It's
I don't care. I just found this out. That
I don't
was
care.
this is important. That
Breaking-
was
breaking
the
news.
first. That was the first 3D rocket ever printed, called the Tehran 1. It lifted off at 1:00 from Kennedy Space Center.
So what do they print it and then they glue
They
the pieces of
printed the
paper
whole
together?
thing and then they put it all together.
I think I want to go on a rocket that's actually built and
It
whatever.
was
I don't know about
100
printed.
Well, they're saying that it's the cheapest way that you can make a rocket.
Well, that doesn't give me any comfort.
So wait, but you got to go to Kinko's and pick it up.
Yeah.
And then
And
we have
we need more staplers.
Are you here for the Falcon Heavy or not the Falcon Heavy? Oh, you want that one? Okay.
it was 110 feet tall.
Yeah.
Printed.
And it's loud. And then we have a SpaceX launch tonight at 7:30.
Okay.
Wow. So there's a lot of
Should I
Very
just continue
active.
with-
apropos that we're talking
You
about
can- yeah,
Star
shoot
Trek
in.
and Star Wars.
Should I
There you
even
go.
continue with my
Star
Artemis
Trek-
description, or
Star
is that
Trek
the
Yes,
sucks.
yes.
Artemis
Continue.
2 is going to launch this year. It's going to put astronauts in the Artemis for the first time, and they're going to go around the moon. And then they say in 2025, Artemis 3 is going to go, and that's going to land on the moon for the first time.
I don't want no astronauts in my Artemis.
56 years.
Keep them astronauts out of my Artemis.
Yeah,
There was many people on the news and here in the Cape, wanting to. They really thought this thing was going to blow up.
Well,
Wow.
the rocket
Why? Because it was
the
printed?
rocket was
Yeah, because it was never. No one's ever done anything with that much heat on a rocket, and
maybe
it-
melts, but blow up. I mean,
yeah,
the
they
rocket-
thought that the rocket may blow up.
they didn't 3D print the engines, did they?
They printed everything. There isn't one thing on the rocket that isn't 3D printed.
We see you can print with any kind of material. So
Yeah, you can
obviously
print
the
metal.
material.
So you
The
can
material-
actually print a rocket ship.
Yeah,
That means like computer nerds down the street are gonna be launching their fucking asses into orbit all the time now.
They're printing houses right now. They're building houses every
Yeah.
day, printing them. It's not like printing like you're thinking of printing in a printing machine. It's just the way a printer, and it goes along and it puts out the concrete or whatever the material.
Yeah,
But
it goes.
it's a
3D printer, but
it's I think the price of a house, a printed house, is like a third, a fraction of
Yeah.
what a regular house is, because you don't need all the manual labor. You need a printer. Yeah, so you go down to Kinko's, you go, hey, listen, I'm thinking about a 2-story.
don't they make it like components?
I'm thinking about a Cape
you rock
Cod.
together.
What do you got? And then he comes up with the colors, and you go, wait.
well,
I'm
I went to Kinko's yesterday and said, I'm looking to get a 3D printed printer rocket. They said 1 stage, 2 stage, or 3.
Well, aren't the houses 3D? They're done in components, so they kind of lock together, right? They're not. It just doesn't do the whole house like that. It'll like there's
Whoa! Oh my God!
Wow. John
Uh-oh.
just John.
John's
I think John
drugs
has-
just kicked in, ladies.
That
and
was
either that or he has gas.
that was either a sonic boom or exploded.
probably Sonic Boom or both.
You didn't hear like the roll program just before that, did you?
Oh no, not the roll. No,
No.
Go for
That's crazy.
go for power up.
Yeah, go with throttles
Throttle.
up.
Go for throttle.
Oh
up.
my God! I remember that. I remember I was driving a truck at the time when what was it? Was it the Challenger that exploded? Right.
Yep.
I was driving a truck. I was in New York. I was driving a truck for a living, and I just remember I had the radio on, and they're showing the launch, and then you hear that and you go, oh my God, it's one of those moments that you always remember where you were when you heard about it.
I remember where I was. I was in a bathtub soaking.
Right.
I'm not kidding. And my dad knocked on the door and said, "Hey, the space shuttle just blew up." I was
Yeah.
like, "What?" I threw on my robe and went out and I saw the replay. And
That was like 9/11. I remember I woke up, the phone's ringing. I was out here in California already, and the phone's ringing. I wait, and it's early in the morning. I wake up, it's my mother, and I pick up, and she goes, "Oh, I hate to wake you up, but I think World War III just started."
yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, what a great way to wait!" And put on the TV, and you get all that,
You're talking about 9/11, right?
9/11. Yeah.
You know what? So
Yeah.
I got here. I moved here on. I got here on September. When was it? I arrived here September 1st. I went to dinner at my friend's house on September 10th, and they all they did was talk about the Northridge earthquake, because the day before we had a 4.5 earthquake that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
So they talked about Northridge and apartment houses collapsing, and I was in a brand new apartment. It was on the bottom floor. They said they got pancaked. So I got so freaked out that I had a station wagon. I put my pillows and blankets in the station wagon, turned on the radio a little bit, and I went to sleep in my station wagon because I felt if there was an earthquake, nothing would crush me. That's it, right? And I wake up with them screaming on the radio, and I thought that I'd slept through an earthquake, and it was 9/11.
Yep.
Well, 2 things we were talking about when that space, when the Challenger blew up. The new reporting on that is that after it blew up, they were all alive for 70 seconds.
Until they hit the water.
Now,
Yeah.
I mean, how do they have definitive proof of that? Did they find recordings or something like that? I mean,
Yes.
how do they know?
Yeah,
Really?
they had
They have
recordings,
like a black box. They have like a black box.
and they also have all their recordings of their vitals.
Wow.
Well, they
That's
may
a-
not have been conscious though.
Right.
Because
But
when
they're-
you get thrown into like a tumble going at Mach 7, you probably pass out.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
Yeah.
I
Let's
hope so,
hope,
yeah.
I mean,
Like,
that's
that was like that was the creepiest day ever. You know what? I don't want to say that,
That
oh
was
my
the
God.
creepiest day ever, besides the Star Trek convention. That was.
You bag on conventions, but it's a great way to get laid.
I'm not gonna, you know what? If you got to go to a convention to get laid, maybe you should, go. I guess you should go to the convention, but
kill yourself.
It's a great pickup line, man. Like, hey, you want to feel my Vulcan neck?
Hold on, I'm going there to meet a Wookiee chick.
A Wookiee,
a Wookiee chick. Come here, baby. I'm gonna climb a Wookiee.
The climb. So, what was our topic supposed to be?
Actually, we were going to talk about the Academy Awards.
Oh, we're right there. We're right in the heart of that one.
The Chris Rock special and all that shit.
We're talking about the Chris Rock special.
Chris Rock,
which I'm sorry, but it sucked.
I didn't see it.
I didn't. It had a couple of funny.
Why didn't you see it? That was our topic for today.
I don't have Netflix. I saw the last 10 minutes.
Okay, so I watched the entire show.
So did I, but I didn't see that end part.
So, and I watched the end part again last night.
Yeah,
and the whole show, I had a different opinion after I watched the last 10 minutes.
Right.
Obviously, it was his therapy session to get off everything on his chest about Will Smith.
Yeah.
There was a good line. There was one really funny line that made me laugh in the end when he goes, any of you don't know, Will Smith is a lot bigger than me. Will Smith played Muhammad Ali.
Oh, yeah.
I played Pookie in New York City.
New York City, yeah. But I don't get. First of all, there was other things I didn't like. But since we're talking about this segment of it, why do you wait a year? What's the deal? He took him a year to process getting fucking slapped in the money. It's like, give me a break. And it's like, if you're gonna write stuff,
do you think Netflix was his only offer? Come on, they all said, hey, Chris.
But also, and I like Chris Rock. I think Chris
Rock. I love Chris Rock. That's why I was so disappointed.
I still love Chris Rock. I didn't see the whole thing, but I will tell you this. From all the platforms I'm on, TikTok, Twitter.
You're on TikTok?
TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Grindr, and never mind.
Grindr.
No, everywhere I'm on, it's very polarizing.
Bob's hairy ass. Oh, no.
People love it or they hate it. I
haven't. Every major company that reviews stuff hated it.
Well, but several big comedians I know, and
because they wanted to open for him.
Yeah,
Marshall Warfield wants to open for him.
First of all, I don't want to hear about how rich he is and how rich.
That was what
I don't want to hear how spoiled his fucking kids are. That's great, but that's not funny to me.
No, that's different. That we're not. I didn't see it. So
and he did 10 minutes about how rich he is. And
how spoiled the kids are in the school they go to, and this and that. It's like this shit wasn't funny. It's like I tell him how his
the only good thing. The only funny joke was when he said, "I'm rich and my ex-wife is rich and has a big beautiful house, and she's not fucking funny."
Yeah, she's got the same amount of money as me, and she ain't funny at all.
The one thing I always admire about Chris Rock is that he doesn't have a filter. He'll talk about anything. And I would bet that, a lot of comics wouldn't talk about how rich they are, how spoiled their kids are.
Yeah, but nobody wants to hear how rich Chris Rock is.
Listen, you know what?
They don't.
It's all in the way it's done, because Richie Gervais does it, and he'll talk about how he's better than you, and he's this. But when he does it, I'm laughing. It's genius. It's
I don't think Rock thinks he's better than us.
No, I don't think Rock thinks he's better than us. But
that's why it came off.
He just misfired. Listen, I love Chris Rock. I think he's funny. But there was something about this special that maybe it was because it was live and maybe he was nervous, something, but he just was slightly off. He just misfired and the material was not, wouldn't have been what I chose for a special.
Your opinions, guys, really carry a lot of weight with me. But when I'm watching what other people are saying on Facebook, I'm like, there really is a divide. And it's not just, I would normally think, comedians can be.
I will mention what I think the divide could be. He had a lot of black references of different people and comparisons to different people that were not mainstream at all. And maybe you had to be black to know who he was talking about.
Or young.
After the show, no. As after the show, I made a list and I looked up these people and I never even heard of them after looking at the beat,
But you think you have to be black to know them?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they were kind of black references that
were just maybe more into the black culture, I didn't
more into rap. I guess more into rap.
And which is shocking to me because you guys know I live rap.
Well, let's face it.
Every
I mean,
Christmas you live rap.
Let's face
I'm
it.
an old rock and roller. There is no other kind of music.
Well, here's my point. We got to consider from Chris Rock's standpoint, where's his core audience? Is his core audience, 60-year-old white guys, or is it African American?
No, I think Chris Rock's core audience is he's trying to appeal
Is everybody
to everybody. He's not trying to appeal to just a black audience. He
I
wants to be
agree.
mainstream,
I agree. That's
and
what I
he's
think he
successful. He's successful mainstream, but I think he just went a little. Maybe he went a little bit.
I guess I have to see it. I don't know.
He went a little Trumpy because he just went to go to this one. Well, as far as not caring about the rest of his audience, only trying to appeal to a certain segment of his audience.
Look, I agree. I'm not Chris Rock's target audience, but I love Chris Rock.
Yeah,
and I think he's really funny.
I admire.
I did not think this was funny.
Comedians alive right now. I really do.
And I don't think this was his best work. In fact, Netflix, apparently, from what I've read, kind of weren't 100% on it when they saw the rehearsal. So they put together a post show to talk about how funny the show was.
If you need a post show to
and
tell
they
you how funny it was,
and no one talked about how funny the show was. They talked about the way he was dressed. They talked the way how he walked around on stage. They
Which
didn't
I
talk
didn't like
all
that
about,
either. He paced like a tiger for the whole show, and I wasn't crazy about that either. It was distracting.
It's almost like, to me, he did the entire special to get to that last 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? Did you get that feeling? Like the rest was all filler.
Yes.
I mean, he had some funny stuff about.
I'm surprised. I'm a little.
Here's what I'm willing to take a little.
Didn't open with it because I would have thought, because of how I feel about Chris, I would have thought he would have opened with that. He would have addressed the elephant in the room and then have funny.
Well, he sort of did.
Wait, and then have funnier stuff behind it. And
here's the reason I think he didn't. I think John hit it on the head. I think that he put this together kind of a last minute kind of thing. He had his little Will Smith stuff, but then to be a whole special, he needed to put together all this other stuff, and he saved what he thought was going to be, which is true. What everyone wanted to hear was him talk about the Will Smith thing. So it was like you're waiting for that. So he just kind of blah, 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 garbage. Will Smith, which really could have been better too. Even the Will Smith
Even that wasn't that great. That wasn't that great.
But it was honest.
Speaking of Will Smith, man, I think it's time that we embrace him back into the fold.
What the fuck?
No.
I am of a mind to forgive Will's. And who am I to forgive Will Smith? He doesn't need my forgiveness.
Will Smith movie?
Let me tell you something.
I love Will Smith's movies, and
you're up for one. I think I'm going to be auditioning for one. I better like.
Well, let me tell you something.
Will, if you're listening, I love you, Will. I love you, man.
If you were Chris Rock and Will Smith did that to you, there would be no more Will Smith today. End of story.
It would just be a grease stain on Mike's fist.
If I was on stage and Will Smith came up and slapped me, I would be torn because my first instinct, would be to jump off the stage and just cause him serious bodily injury. But my logical mind would go, wow, this is going to make me the most famous person in the world. But if I was hosting the Oscars, that would mean that I was already an incredibly famous person.
Chris wasn't hosting. He was just presenting.
He was presenting. So there you go. I probably would have jumped off the stage and beat the shit out of him and then been the most famous guy in the world.
Now if he'd slapped me, it would have been like, ooh, Daddy, do that again.
Are we going out later? Will, come back. Will. You'd have been like the movie Shane. Will, come back, Will.
I mean, did you guys remember when that happened? I was sitting here watching it with my friend Jeff, and I'm watching it. And I'm like, he's like, "Is this a bit?" I'm like, I think Chris thought it was a bit, and then when he really got hit, he was like, he was still thinking, well, Will didn't, under the lights and the pressure, he actually hit me.
I think
Chris thought it was a bit until he said, "Keep my wife's name out of your fuck," and that's when Chris went.
Which tells you though, if you think it's a bit, that means he didn't hit you that hard. Because if Will Smith is like 6'4", 200 and whatever, no, he didn't. So because if he would have hit him with a lot of might, Chris Rock wouldn't have been standing. He would have flown backwards.
Exactly, like those slap fights. What do they have? Those MMA.
That's why I thought it was a bit, because it was like, I'm thinking if Chris Rock is still standing, there's no way Will Smith hit him that hard.
But then the first hint that it wasn't a bit is when on live TV,
keep your wife.
Wow, Will Smith just slapped the shit out of me, and they didn't bleep it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I mean, and that's why
I
I
like
realized
what-
it wasn't
I like how
scripted.
the
Can't,
special
can't we all
got-
just get along?
Well, he got a lot of flack from black people about when he said, "Why didn't you fight back?" And he said in the special, because
Yeah.
I have parents, and parents say that you don't ever fight, especially in front of white people.
Yeah, I thought that was a little racist and
I
whatever.
don't
Like,
think it's racist
well, they say
at all.
black people can't be racist, but that's a little to me.
Black
was-
people are coming out saying it was really racist.
Yeah, it is.
Really, you think
It is.
so?
That's
I
like
just think
Chappelle.
somebody.
Chappelle.
I think it's honestly how what he was told. I don't believe he necessarily subscribes to it.
That's like everyone hailed Chappelle when he did the SNL thing, but it was fucking totally anti-Semitic. Talking about how Hollywood is run by they say Jews, but then he's like, well, if there's a lot of Jews. It's like, what, that was anti-Semitic, and you know what, you're punching down because you're fucking Dave Chappelle. You're one of the biggest comedians in the world, and if you can't do better than that, then get the fuck off the stage.
You see, I respect Chris Rock a lot more than I respect Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah,
and look,
so do I.
I've never been a big Dave Chappelle fan, although I did love his sketch show. But the thing about Dave that I found is, as he's gotten really, really popular, his comedy's gotten really lazy.
Well, he's gotten very homophobic,
Oh yeah,
very
Transphobic.
racist.
Transphobic.
Yeah, he's who cares? He never made me laugh.
One of my favorite bits Chris Rock ever did, I think it's spectacular, when he's talking about the old time black people, and when people say, I don't remember the context of why he did this, but he said, you know that guy at bus stations, the old guy who's shining his shoes, he's like, yes sir, that's right, good day, yes sir, yes sir. He goes, as soon as you walk around that corner, he's like, cracker ass cracker. And I thought that was one of the funniest and most honest things ever.
That's such a prior bit.
Well,
it was his. It's still.
No, but I'm just saying that's why it's really,
isn't it?
That's
Yeah.
why it's really, yeah. Oh yeah, no, I'm saying it's just like that's the way Pryor always.
And I love the fact
Yeah.
that Chris Rock just came out and called it what it was.
Well, he's always had one like controversial joke in every special he had. When he did that thing about how what's his name, the rapper that got murdered,
Tupac.
He goes, yeah, Tupac. They say Tupac was assassinated. John F. Kennedy was assassinated. Bobby Kennedy was assassinated. They just capped that N-word, like that. Yeah, that was.
He said that N-word got shot. That's what he said.
Yeah, no, he said they capped them.
Oh, you said okay.
Well, and this whole thing was going because it's almost a year. The Oscars are Sunday.
Yeah.
So they did this whole set it up to bit. But did you guys see the SAG? Did you watch any of the SAG awards? Did you get the films? I mean, you're SAG, right, Craig?
Yeah, I've seen about half the movies.
I voted for the SAG awards, because SAG members.
And Everything Everywhere All at Once won the SAG award, and I have to say this one thing. Everybody's like, well, the SAG people thought it was the best picture. I'm like, no, SAG members don't vote for the best picture. They vote for the best ensemble.
Yeah, because that was a piece of shit. It was not a piece of shit, but it was. I couldn't follow it. It was okay. Listen, I voted for Jamie Lee Curtis.
Mike,
let me see
your hot dog fingers, Mike. Come on, your hot dog fingers.
I
do have hot dog fingers, but
I hated that movie more than any movie I have ever hated it.
Well, John, you got all the movies. What was your pick for best picture for the SAG ones anyway?
The one that wasn't even nominated. The one that wasn't even nominated. That 13 Lives was amazing.
You can't pick one that's not nominated. You got to go through.
But I'm just saying, I thought that was the best.
I know. I asked John, which was your favorite one that was up for the awards? The one that wasn't
behind the blue, the red.
I did like the.
Debbie Does Dallas.
The Fablemans. I did like the Fablemans.
Fablemans was excellent. It started slow. I started watching it. And I remember about 5 or 10 minutes. I'm going, I hope it gets. And then it got better, and it was really good.
Well, you know what? I gotta tell you, I know I talked about how I enjoyed Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Mm-hmm.
But it got really bizarre and really strange at times, and I think it got a little heavy-handed. And I think by the end, I think it was stretching it was kind of hitting me over the head. But if I had to vote from any movie,
it hit you over the head. I like it.
Thank you. Will Smith, hit me over the head, please. The one movie that I thought I would have voted for, because I paid my dues too late, so I didn't get the vote. It would have been Banshees of Inisherin,
Which was another good movie, but
which was
did you see The Whale? Did you see The Whale?
I Lived the Whale.
I know you lived The Whale but you haven't seen it, so you don't really know that you
No,
lived
I
The Whale
don't.
because you
But
haven't
I
seen it.
heard it's a kind of a downer and stuff. And
Well, maybe you shouldn't see it because it does mirror a lot of your life, and I mean
no,
that
it doesn't.
knowing
I'm
it
not
does.
on oxygen.
And
I'm
the
not
other
people
movie-
I
about to
didn't say
die.
you were on oxygen.
And the
That's-
other Netflix
that's
show
not
that
the
kind of
part I'm
mirrors
talking about.
someone's life is Dahmer. It's his life.
Yeah.
But that's a TV movie, though.
I know, kidding. It was a joke.
Dahmer is my life.
No, Mike's life.
No, that'd be Craig's life. He likes to eat, guys.
Yeah, I've eaten many guys,
Tom,
and
The
I had this
the
big drum
only-
in my room too.
The only thing in Dahmer that was, to me, was kind of actually funny, and it's not funny, when they bring the father in and they said, "We need to talk to you." There's a suspected murder, and he goes, "Who tried to kill my son?" And he goes, "No, you better sit down." We found a 50-gallon drum in his room that contained 3 bodies, a head, a bunch of legs. We found 6 skulls in his bottom drawer, a human head in his refrigerator, 4 sets of hands in the freezer.
Jesus, what was he doing?
And
Pickling?
he goes-
I mean,
when
he
he
was
goes-
planning
and he
a
goes-
barbecue.
He goes, and the father's just like this. He goes, "And we believe he murdered all these people. We'll leave you alone with your thoughts."
You know, if that had happened today, in the way the media is in 2023, they find a big drum in his bedroom with a body in it. He'd be doing janitor in the drum commercials. He would be.
Oh, he'd be doing
Yeah, I got 3
TikToks.
janitors right here.
He'd be doing TikToks, holding up some guy's head. Hey, how do you feel today? I feel. He'd be
Kathy
doing like
Griffin
senior
hates
Winsors
that
with somebody's
idea.
head.
Kathy Griffin hates that idea. Speaking of picking up a head, I don't know.
Hey, listen, I'm that weird. I'm the guy who wants to go. We're planning a trip to Europe, and I want to go. I want to go to London just so I can take the Jack the Ripper tour.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not like it's not. I'm not into the morbid, but it's just this weird the mind of serial killers. It's like look at what's his name, Bundy, and all these. I mean, some of these guys they're geniuses. They're just gone down the wrong path. I mean, Bundy could have been a lawyer. I mean, he was that smart. He was.
I told you this.
Evil bastard, but
I told you this. I have a friend of mine that was an anchor on CNN, and Espanol CNN, and he got to interview a lot of these serial killers.
right.
So he interviewed Ramirez. He interviewed
Ramirez, who was the Night Stalker, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ramirez. He was a scary motherfucker. That guy was evil.
Yeah.
Fuck.
and he God, I'm brain dead today.
The Hillside Strangler.
No, the famous Charles Manson.
Manson.
And he said that, putting the story together, he had to do this research. And he says that at any time in the world, there's 4,000 active serial killers.
Yeah, pretty scary.
1,200 of them, and an additional 1,200 that are inactive at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And
What
that
does that mean inactive? Are they on the injured reserve?
They're not killed.
They some of them kill for a couple of years. They take a couple of years off.
Some of them go to jail for a couple of years, and they get prison, so they can't kill.
And this was amazing. 30% of the people in the world will come across 2 serial killers in their lifetime.
Well, you guys have already come across one. I mean, we know people that could be like that.
Yeah, Rick Morgan.
Rick Morgan, please.
I'm just saying that.
You're just bringing up these weird fucking names.
Just random
from the
names.
past.
What the fuck?
Like everyone.
But isn't
knows.
it
Now you're starting
wild?
to sound like John, bringing up fucking names that nobody knows.
What names did I bring up that nobody
It's an
knows?
in joke for any comic. That's all it is.
What names do I bring up that nobody
But
knows?
now, do you know that Hollywood has the death tour? It's like macabre. You go on a bus and you.
Right. You see when Belushi died outside the Chateau Marmont.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what you would enjoy more in London, Mike.
What's that?
They have a whole museum. England invented torture,
Yes.
and they have an entire museum of the torture that they came up with.
And that's just their
And
food.
and let me tell you something.
What's your favorite torture, John?
Your favorite?
Well, what I realized was
I'm a rat guy.
What I realized that when I went to that thing was they would take a person and hang them upside down by their ankles.
Yeah.
And then they would cut them from in between their legs up to their neck, because by hanging them upside down, they found out that the blood would go to their brain and they could experience the pain 6 or 7 minutes longer.
Wow, I'm getting teary,
mine would
man.
be
I'm getting
Iron
teary.
Maiden. I like the Iron Maiden because the music would be awesome too.
There you go, the Iron Maiden. Which, for anyone who doesn't know, that was like a case where they locked you in with spikes on the inside, right? And
you know
so-
that wasn't meant to kill people. It's just it was the way to interrogate people, because the spikes weren't meant to impale you and kill you.
Hey, you want to get some tortures? You get the people laugh when they go bamboo under the fingernails.
No,
Put anything under your fingernails. Try that out for size. Let me tell you something. I'd tell you where my grandmother was, for whatever.
I experienced torture.
Yeah, but that's marriage.
I did. No, I experienced torture. I had to work on a podcast with Peter Bells for a year.
Oh no!
Hey,
Are we have to bleep that now? Seriously?
No, we don't have to bleep that.
Okay. Now here's the thing. I was doing my cooking show yesterday, which can also be found on the Strong Island Entertainment app, and I was using that French fry cutter, and it got jammed. And let's see where I can do this. You can't really see it.
A French fry cutter.
And
you need a special cutter for French fries.
And I cut part of my fingernail. It went under my fingernail. Yeah. It's been hurting for 12 hours, and it's like I'm ready to give up any sequence.
It only gets worse. That's how it starts, Craig. Oh, you should read up about stuff under the fingernails. You're in for a treat.
It's hard. No, it's a lot of pain, and it doesn't. And you can't do anything.
Wait. You should read up on it. What is there? Are there books?
There might be. What do you think?
Are there books
there?
like
yes,
under my fingernails, and fun?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I've dreamed up my own
It's a party
things.
book, right?
I've dreamed up. Listen, there were people who were on my list, and I'm not going to name any of them. If I had my druthers, or whatever you want to say, these are the things little things like I would take razor blade, like try something to take razor blades and make little slices all over them, and then dip them in alcohol, and just do that or just peel their skin with a potato peeler.
Okay,
just not kill them, but
okay.
These are no, I'm just kidding.
We just lost half of our listeners and watchers.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about, I think to me the most insidious modern serial killer was BTK. That guy was unwrapped, man. I mean, killing somebody is pretty bad, but to stand there and pleasure yourself while they're hanging and choking, but on the other hand, look at the guy. He was a neighborhood enforcement guy. Like if your grass was too tall, he cared about the environment. He cared about the neighborhood. So he had this other side, but he kept the neighborhood nice. He looked like my baseball coach from high school.
His brother was good. BLT.
No, I knew he was going there.
So brother was delicious.
But BTK, every time the BTK, I get hungry for a Whopper. I don't know why. It's like, I want to go to.
I can't believe
you guys suck. John sucks because he knows I'm on a diet. He knows I'm drinking shakes. I'm on breakfast substitution for a protein shake for lunch, and I'm just having chicken and salad for dinner. And here you are talking about when you just said friggin' Burger King, you just made me crazy, man.
I had a protein shake for breakfast.
Yes, that's like the word in that Jimmy Buffett song, right?
Dude, I last week I went on a McDonald's binge.
No.
Yeah, I went on a McDonald's binge, and I got to tell you right now, officially, I'm out here they have In-N-Out, they have Fat Burger, they have the Habit. But the best burger on the planet, without a doubt, there's no argument, is a Big Mac.
Wrong.
Big Mac.
Wrong.
It is great.
First of all, I got two that'll beat you. Yeah. First of all, I am still burping up White Castles from 1977.
Well, White Castle's good too, but not as good.
There you go. That was a White Castle from 1977, right?
Oh my gosh.
One.
I'm glad we're going highbrow here.
Two. Now they don't have these on. They don't have these on the East Coast, so the East Coasters won't know. But you and I know. In-N-Out. In-N-Out makes incredible.
Great burger.
I love
Great
it.
burger.
When I have family, when my brother flies in with his kids or whatever, the first thing they do before anything is stop at In-N-Out. They gotta have In-N-Out.
In-N-Out's good, but I still prefer Big Macs.
I actually had 2 weeks ago. I had the first Big Mac I've had in 20 years.
Good, wasn't it?
Just got in the mood. it didn't taste the same as I remember when I was a kid for some reason. It wasn't quite the same.
Well, also it feels a lot smaller than you were a kid because your hands were small and you thought this thing is
Do you remember?
But you still remember the jingle, right? To all beef patty,
special
special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, all on sesame seed bun.
There you go.
You know,
Have
like
it
a lot of people know
go.
these Jimmy Buffett songs, but do you ever listen to the words in Cheeseburger in Paradise?
Cheeseburger in paradise. No, I
It's
didn't.
really funny. The words are, I tried to amend my carnivorous habits, made it nearly 70 days, losing weight without speed, eating sunflower seeds, drinking lots of carrot juice, and soaking up rays. But at night, I have these wonderful dreams, some kind of sensuous treat, not zucchini, fettuccine, or bulgur wheat, but a big warm bum, and a huge hunk of meat.
What is this guy
Cheeseburger.
on?
Yeah, hunk of
Cheeseburger.
meat. That could
I
mean
mean,
a lot
it's
of
so
things.
funny. Cheeseburger in paradise, heaven on earth, an onion slice, not too particular, not too precise. I'm just a cheeseburger in paradise.
And he has a franchise of restaurants. He's one in Hawaii. I know that.
Heard about the old time sailor men. They eat the same thing again and again. Warm beer and bread. They said could raise the dead. When it reminds me of a menu at a Holiday Inn. It's really funny words. Also,
this guy's on too many margaritas. And
times have changed, and sailors these days. When I'm port, I get what I need. Not Havanas or bananas or daiquiris, just an American creation which I need to feed. Cheeseburger in paradise, medium rare when mustard is nice.
You know why?
Heaven on earth and an onion slice. It's
fucking.
You know, I saw this video on TikTok, and this is related. Trust me. And this woman, and she has that sourpuss Karen looking face. No offense to anybody, but she just does. And she's at a Walmart, and she puts the camera on her,
except sour face,
the camera on her, and then she puts it into a freezer case with all this meat. And then back to her, and she goes, "Why are humans like this?" And I'm thinking, because it's fucking delicious. That's why we're like this. I mean,
you know what? I mean, for a while, I was doing the vegan thing. Actually, I went vegan, and I realized it's like, you know, I don't know. You can live without meat, but it's who wants to.
Well, we're meant to consume meat.
I'm like, you go into a restaurant, you want a lobster, you pick the lobster. I go into a restaurant, I want to pick the cow that they slice a steak out of. You know,
yeah, and you want to slaughter it, right?
Slice a piece of that fucker's ass off for me, will you?
You guys ever seen that meme? It's a Christmas dinner, and it's like a Norman Rockwell setting. The wife's got pearls on. The guy's in a suit and a tie at the dinner table. There's a beautiful turkey and all the Christmas dinner.
Right.
And the little kid goes, "Did I tell anybody I'm a vegan?" The father goes, "Shut the fuck up, Timmy."
Shut the fuck up.
Well, you know, I mean, now let's put it this way. I think vegans get really pissed off when carnivorous people like us go a little bit too far, like a turducken. That's like, right. You're not just happy with a turkey. You got to shove a chicken and a duck up its ass.
I want to murder as many animals as I can
in one sitting, dinner. Right? Yeah, exactly.
Well, truthfully, and people are right, and this is what a vegan will say, or some vegetarians. And if you saw the animal slaughtered, if you had to sit there and watch the animal, you wouldn't eat meat anymore. And they're probably right, because it's a fucking horrible thing. And I have that built-in forgetter, so I've seen, like, you know, the cows get that blaster to the head,
yeah,
you know, and that's how they kill. And it's like, how can you eat meat after that? It's because, you know, I have that gift of being able to forget that shit and eat a hamburger. But it's, you know,
or you balance it out. Like when I was a kid, the question, you know, the whole question about eating meat used to come up, and I go, well, in the Bible, God says, you know, the animals are here for us. And so for a long time, I was like, well, God wants us to eat meat. And then I became an atheist. And then I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, I can't rationalize this anymore. You know, I can't say, well, God is, no, you know, it's all on me at this point.
God said you'll have dominion over the animals. And he was like eating some Kentucky Fried Chicken while he was saying that. You know, he was eating a drumstick.
It was easy for him. He could multiply fish.
There you go. Fishes. Here's fishes and loaves.
And a lot of people don't put fish in the same category as animals. You know, like, I can eat fish, but I can't eat a cow.
They're simpler. They're like, they don't have the brain. They think that they have no feelings or something like that.
But dolphins are way smarter than cows.
Dolphins not a fish. Dolphins.
People don't eat dolphins unless you're Japanese.
I guess I better stop emailing Larry Zonka. Thank you. I'm here all week. Yo, how you doing? What's going on?
Pull your nets out of the water. No, I mean, Dolphin's not a fish, though. Dolphin
Have you ever
is
seen
not-
it?
mammal,
Have you
I
ever
know.
have you ever seen that commercial? This big burly guy comes walking into the locker room and he goes, "Whoa!" And then the whole back of his back is a giant grizzly bear. It's like a Chicago bear thing.
Yeah.
And the guy goes, "I'm not telling him." And he goes, "You were traded to Miami." And you see the guy in the tattoo thing laying there, and the
Right.
guy's tattooed, and he goes, "Kind of looks like a dolphin."
That is pretty funny,
Oh
man.
man.
No, it's but you know, we went from the Oscars to this Challenger to veganism.
Well,
That's
that's what we do. We never
Well,
we
diverse.
go wherever the wind blows.
Hey, not every day in the middle of a show, a 3D rocket gets launched. That's a rocket.
and
That's
one of
rocket
one of
history.
the main guys on the show just walks off the set.
I said, "Excuse me, I have to see this." You have to understand, I waited yesterday 3 hours for it to launch, and then it hasn't rained in 6 months, and 3 minutes before it launched, it poured.
But we're just happy you were wearing shorts.
That's it. Well, at John's age, you got to wait 3 hours just to pee.
Oh no.
No, I actually had a good prostate.
A good prostate exam the other day. Are you sure? Maybe you should feel a little more over there. It's a little to the left. Are you
man.
kidding? Are you kidding, man? That's why I said I would only go to a female doctor, because it's like, give me that hernia test. I can't have a guy. I'm not gonna have a guy grabbing my balls.
So,
Well, you know what? There are advantages to it, Mike. I'm just putting it out there.
let me just tell you this.
For you, what? That a guy's stronger? He's gonna grab your sack a little stronger? No, I don't
Makes you
think
sing
so.
higher.
He's just singing higher.
You'll get
So
higher
I went
notes.
to the urologist, who happens to be like a 28-year-old, very attractive woman.
Give me her
And-
number, John.
And I started talking to her afterwards, and I said, "Can I be honest with you?"
Did you wash your hands?
I've worked in a hospital, so I could talk to anybody about anything. I said, "But do you have men that are like kind of intimidated to talk to you about things?" I go, "You're young, you're attractive." And she started laughing, and she said, "I had a couple came in here the other day, a man and a wife. And the man just looked at me and said, 'I'm sorry, but I'd have to see somebody else. I can't talk to you about this.' And went to get up, and his wife grabbed him by the shirt and threw him back in the chair and went, 'I've been going to a male gynecologist my whole life. Shut up and sit down.'"
You know what? I have one concern, and probably not because of the whole white coat syndrome, but I wonder if she's ever been with somebody who's gotten aroused during an exam.
Of course, it happens. Were you kidding?
Well, I don't know. It doesn't, maybe
It
not.
happens with me. I'll be like, she'll be like, everything looks fine. I'm like, you sure? Maybe you should look a little closer.
Yeah, it's very weird. It's very weird. She goes to me,
Yeah, a little close. Okay.
she goes, "How's your sex life?" I wanted to go, "How's yours?"
How's yours?
But
Ask my wife. Here she is. Hi. How you doing?
I gotta tell you, I had a prostate exam that lasted about 20 minutes last time I went.
No, that was your friend Jeff.
You just shit on my joke.
and
No, you shit on him. No. Let's stop.
I was gonna. The joke was
God.
I just had a prostate exam that lasted 20 minutes and I wasn't aroused at all, but the dentist was very happy. Anyway.
and you knew something was going wrong when both his hands were on your shoulder.
There you go. Come on, bark for me.
I go when you said drill,
All
I
right.
didn't know you meant
So
that.
I've heard
I'm
turn
really-
your head and cough, but bark.
I'm really glad that we're on this new platform. We've elevated the level of this
He's
show.
really
I know.
filling that cavity.
We're gonna get fired any minute.
We're fired already.
Hold on, wait a minute. Wait. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Okay. All right. Close the show down.
Close the show down. Hold on. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't mention BTK.
Wait a minute.
Too late. Thank you.
It's
All
Peter
right.
Bales. Peter Bales says we suck. Oh, all right.
You know what? I'm gonna say it on camera.
Hello.
I have no problem with Peter Bales.
Hello.
I like
John's
Mike,
got
I
the.
don't.
Come on, man. That's the Batman phone, isn't that the Bat? No,
This
Yeah,
is
what's up with
this
that?
is the official blue phone. When you get this, this means big stuff. Peter Bales, yeah, he sucks.
Oh,
right.
God. So who
So
wins
the-
Best Actor? Let's go back to that. Who wins Best
Oh
Actor?
well, I think Brendan Fraser. I mean, he won for The Whale with the SAG Awards. Honestly, I think he's going to win the Academy Award for multiple reasons. Because
because
character
he's never done anything really good.
he's never done anything Academy.
But he is a good
worthy.
actor.
Gods and Monsters was awfully good.
Yeah. But
But
The
he's
Whale is a different level kind of a thing. It's a serious piece.
An acting piece.
It's an acting
Yeah.
piece for sure. Yes. And
Because he always played like goofy roles, right?
Well,
yeah, I mean,
did a
well,
lot
he
of
used to always
comedy
play.
movies.
He was like sort of the hero, the goofy hero-y guy.
Right, right. That's what I mean.
He was like The Rock without the muscles.
He did the movie about James Whale
and the
Gods Monsters.
personality.
And
The
supposedly
personality.
he got sexually harassed on that show, and he got blackballed for not acquiescing to the advances, and that's where he. Why?
All right. Before we go, can I bring up a TV show that you said you really like?
Who?
That show Ghosts.
Oh,
Ghosts. I like Ghosts. I mean,
I think it is. I think it is the most mindless, worst TV show I've ever seen.
wow, John, I can see John's.
Well, have you what have you seen of it? Have you watched the
I've
season?
watched like 8 of them,
8 of them? Yeah, I watched like the first season.
I really
and
enjoy it.
I think the woman that's on the show, I think she's adorable. She
Yeah.
reminds me of Mindy on Mork and Mindy, like that kind of character. I like the Viking guy.
For anyone
Oh,
who
yeah,
doesn't know,
Thor.
this give us
Thor's great.
the show is about a woman who has a near-death experience, and now she can see ghosts. And they live in
And
this house. They live in this
bed and breakfast they
mansion.
bought.
They live in this mansion that they're turning into a bed and breakfast. That anyone who's died there, their ghost is trapped.
Right.
At least some of them are trapped in this house, and so there's all these interesting. I think they're interesting characters.
I think the
I think it's very
writing on it is really good.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some of the jokes are very clever, but I just think it's just such a stupid show. It's
The
like,
premise-
and I know
the
you guys.
premise is stupid, or the.
I just think it's just dumb.
They have the I don't know what era.
And I'm telling you,
the woman who's like, like she's like from the 1800s. That woman,
right?
Yeah.
She talks about it like this. Well, they had an episode where she inhabited her husband.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's what that
It was the funniest half hour. It was fantastic.
You know what I
that
think?
guy was great in it.
You know what I
don't
find
understand.
I kind of like about it, which some shows are like this. If you think back in the 70s and 80s, there were all these goofy shows like Gilligan's Island. It was all
Alf.
these things that
Alf.
were
Right.
totally, unbelievable. Just, my favorite Martian, this, that. And so they don't do a lot of stuff like that anymore. So I think it's a kind of a nostalgic thing when they have some ridiculous premise.
Well, I'm
You know.
totally wrong. I mean, the show's got great ratings.
It does.
Right.
I don't get it. I guess and I try to watch it. I have all the seasons taped, and Chris and I, whenever there's nothing to watch, we go, should we put on another one? We both kind of roll our eyes.
I just started watching a new one you guys might be interested in, might like, and you're talking about Dead. What's the it's a Ricky Gervais show. I forgot the name of it, but it's about his wife dies, and now it's about his life after.
It's really
yeah.
depressing.
And it's depressing, but it's funny. He's just this fucking awful fucking guy. He's just depressed and sad and just constantly thinking about killing himself. It's just a hoot.
Yeah, it sounds like a hoot.
Sounds like hysterical.
I forgot the name of it. It's
I mean, John, maybe it's just not your cup of tea because it's very.
I know.
It's
The other
very
show,
subtle. It's
the other
very
show
subtle.
the other show that I hated was that the one with the science people.
Oh,
Big
the
Bang
Big Bang
Theory?
Theory.
Oh my god, I hated that
I
show.
love that show.
I
Hated that show.
I
You're
like it
not a nerd.
because it's a
You're
simple
not a nerd.
diversion.
He's not a nerd.
And even I watched the Young Sheldon. I like that too.
I love you.
Oh.
As a matter
But
of fact,
the Big
our
Bang
buddy
Theory-
Billy,
But you want to see
Billy-
a dumb show like that? Watch that show, Young Rock.
our buddy
Wow.
Billy Gardell. was
Young
a
Rock is
reporter
great.
on the,
Young
Big
Rock
Bang
has
Theory
got-
is so much better. So much better. The acting
Yeah.
is great. And their themes, like you don't connect to the themes, John. You're not a Star Trek fan. You're not a Star Wars fan. They're into like Dungeons.
Yeah,
and
because I'm not a
Dragons.
nerd.
Well, there you go. That's why you didn't like it.
John's science
I'm-
fiction stuff was like
I'm a
Creature
sci-
from the Black Lagoon.
but he's in the 3D.
I am a science guy. I mean,
Well,
my whole life.
you're into
but-
3D printed rockets.
Craig
I
will
know
know.
that.
John, so Craig, don't say anything because you'll know it immediately. Where's this from, John? Klaatu, Barada, Nick Toe.
I have no idea.
That's
That's
actually
from-
that's actually something that his urologist said.
It's really Klaatu, Barada. Ooh, Nick Toe.
All I know is when your doctor tells that little penicillin, it clears it right up.
Well, no, it's
That's from the day the Earth stood still.
great
One
friggin'
of the
movie.
most
Oh,
classic
I love that
sci-fi
movie.
movies.
I don't
That's-
remember that, but I love
That's
that
what he
movie.
tells
How
the
about-
robot. That tells the woman to tell the robot so he won't destroy the world.
Oh, well,
How about Forbidden Planet? That's another.
I don't
great-
speak. I only watch robots fight. I don't speak robot.
I know.
For
I just
Forbidden
watch him
Planet.
fight.
It's another brilliant science fiction.
I loved all of those movies. I mean, I love those movies. So it's like I just
you should like Star Trek then, because
were you a fan of the old?
Did
horror
you guys
movies? Like
did you guys like 2 3/4 Men?
Yes, the first
2.5? You mean
seasons.
2.5 Men, right?
No, well, you got really
Two and
old.
Get older.
2 3/4.
The
That's
first
what my
8
son-
seasons were
That's what my
hilarious.
son used to call it. My son
Yeah.
goes 2.5 Men. It's 2 3/4 Men.
He's getting old. And
I
fat,
love
the
that
kid.
show. I thought
The
that
first
show
8
was
years.
really funny.
It was
I thought
good.
that-
It was good with Charlie Sheen.
Yeah,
Yes,
Ashton
yes.
Kutcher. I mean, he's fine, but it just changed it, and it wasn't the same.
Yeah. Except
Well, because that was Charlie Sheen's life.
except if
Yeah.
Chuck Lorre's watching, we love that show. We love
Like, I
everything
gotta
you
say
do,
something.
Chuck.
And the one thing that I don't think it's much of a secret, but basically, 2.5 Men was just the Odd Couple on its side. That's all it was. It was the Odd Couple all over again. Yeah,
Kind of.
Yeah. I never thought of that, but yeah, you're totally right.
but done. I mean, there was episodes of that show that had me laughing so friggin' hard, and it's just brilliant. It's just really,
What was the brother's name? John
Alan.
Heater? Alan? No,
John
I mean in
Cryer.
real life.
John
John
Cryer.
Cryer.
Yeah.
He
I
was
worked with him once upon a time.
really funny.
He was really funny.
He was really funny on that show. You know,
There
playing a
was
straight man like he did, it was really funny.
Or did I
there
work
was an
with him?
episode where they
Maybe
have a
that's a
cigar
fantasy.
party, and they were all sitting around the house. And I remember the Michael Clark Duncan was in it. It is one of the funniest episodes I've ever seen of any. And you know what? It totally got, because it was kind of crude at times. That show never got any awards. It got acting awards, but it never.
And
got
then the half man.
The kid
he
the
went
half
nuts.
man.
grew up and like denounced everything like it was.
Yeah,
like,
he became like a religious.
I'll take the millions of dollars, but now, yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Get
can't
the
be in.
fuck
I
outta
can't be
here.
in a part of that show. You know,
Yeah.
it's against my belief.
Oh, then give back all the money, you little.
If you ever
bastard.
watch the outtakes of that show on YouTube, they're hilarious. They're hilarious.
You guys, and to our listeners, you want to watch something really funny?
Off the
Go
cuff,
on,
healthy
go
cooking.
on YouTube and watch the outtakes from the Seinfeld show. Oh my god, it is so funny.
Seinfeld.
So yeah, the outtakes from the Seinfeld show.
See, that's
It's
the thing.
just basically making Kramer make everybody laugh on the set to the point where they can't even get their lines out.
You see, that's the thing where everybody loves Seinfeld, and I'm like,
Yeah, I wasn't a huge Seinfeld, but then you have to remember, I was hanging out on Home Improvement. I did a few episodes of Home Improvement, and Tim hated Seinfeld because Seinfeld was his main competition, and it was almost like if you watched Seinfeld, you were being disloyal. Let's put
To
it
the
that way.
camp, disloyal
Yeah.
to the
You
camp.
were being
never-
disloyal, so you
Mike,
had
I
to
don't-
hate Seinfeld. So
Seinfeld had one of the lowest ratings of any TV
I was-
show
I was
in
eating
what about
England.
free.
Seinfeld Chronicles in
In
1980.
England,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
hated him. Hated him.
Well, I'm going to say something, Mike. Don't get mad. I never thought Home Improvement was funny. Never.
Yeah, listen, to me, I thought it was great because, to be honest
You're
with
on
you,
it because you're on it.
not only was I on it, but when I wasn't on it, I used to hang on the set every week because there was crap. I would have starved to death my first couple of years in LA if it wasn't for craft service on Home Improvement. We used to hang
And
out.
my favorite episode was that one where you're in jail.
Yeah, that was a great
Yeah.
episode.
No,
That was
good
really
no.
fun. That was why you got
I
a nice
didn't think
bouquet
that
of
was-
flowers.
I'm really picky when it comes to TV comedy. So when I'm really picky. It's got to hit a certain mark for me, and that's why I'm surprised that you're not fans of Ghosts, because it's just got some
Ugh.
stuff. But it's subtle. It's more gentle. It's based
Yeah,
on
but it's-
comedy.
And I'm into ghost stuff.
Obviously,
I mean, I'm like the ghost guy, and I just think it's like,
I
Well,
thought this.
I don't like the husband on the show. That's one thing. I don't
He's
like that
very
guy.
talented, man.
He's-
I don't like him. it's that whole thing like
He's very
Chris Rock talked about on the show. It's
What?
like they can't just have a normal couple. It's got to be a
a mixed
biracial couple,
yeah.
mixed couple.
Hollywood
And-
is trying very hard to be a little too inclusive, and it's
I
not.
agree with that.
ref-
But
I mean,
like
that was the line that Chris Rock said. I know you white people are pissed off because there's no white couples in any commercials.
No, I mean I agree with that overall, but I think he's a fantastic
Not
actor.
pissed off. We're fucking jealous. Come on,
So
man.
I'm gonna dive bomb you guys and kind of surprise you with this. Something we might want to do at the end of every episode.
Oh wait, when Craig
What?
says something about a surprise,
No,
I get
no.
nervous.
I know, I'm scared.
Let's name the episode.
Name this
I have
episode?
an idea what I want to name this episode. I want to see what you guys think.
The 3D rocket.
That's part of it. I was gonna say 3D rockets and serial killers is what I was gonna call it.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so that way you can see how it happens. It's organic.
Right. We need to get out of here, though.
Yes, we do.
Yes, our
I
time
brought
is
it
up. This was
All right. So let's say goodbye.
So the name of the episode is going to be 3D printed rockets and serial killers. Now let's say goodbye.
All right. Goodbye.
Guys, thanks for listening and watching. See you next week.
And good thing you weren't on Mike's porch.
That's it.
We can't tell you
Welcome
why.
to the Playground Podcast Playground.
Yeah, and Strong Island Entertainment.
And Strong Island Entertainment.
Yes.
And
watch off the cuff. Watch off the
All righty.
Watch
Bye,
Harley Davidson.